Okay.
So I can see how that would happen. Yeah. Oh, anyway, we're live. So, how is everybody? How the very devil are we all doing? Let's just put that up there. Right. Okay. It is nice to see Mr. Josh back with us and Mr. Wayne. We've had a hiatus for a few weeks with illness and God knows what else. And yes, we are back on this bank holiday Monday. So, well, it's not a bank holiday.
Rabbit hole, you know.
Yeah. But we are back here again with this. I am absolutely shattered, guys. I'm fucking hanging out my ass. I really am. Hi, Noreen. You're right. So anyway,
Hello.
Wayne, you're on feasibly large testicles. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you.
Good. And Josh, the beard, the man, the legend. How are you?
I'm all right, you know.
And
Being
how's
over
hair?
on the side of the pond,
Eh?
you know, I'm still alive.
And how's it going over there now that the orange man has been going fucking mad thinking he's Caligula? How's it going over there?
You know, anarchy, chaos, you know. The American dream. Not so much anymore. I know you're starting to see it definitely through a lot of businesses, even with the school. Automotive industry is definitely feeling it. It's harder to get parts. Motorsports world, not so much yet, but I'm sure it's going to start. Timu were being taxed. I heard a story about a girl getting a ring from Romania that she ordered 2 years ago, and it took 2 years to get finished, and it's her wedding ring. And now customs is telling her she has to pay like $600 or $700 or $800, or they're just going to dispose of her parcel.
What's suddenly happened? Why has he gone greed mental? He's like literally gone fucking greed mental, and he knows he's pissing off the whole world. Is he trying to start World War III? Just being a dick.
I think he's demanding that we build our own shit. I mean, for the most part, he wants
I get that,
but I don't know. There's some weird dictatorship going on. Not gonna lie, especially with like the military having the big parade on his birthday. I don't know if you heard about that happening. That's kind of reminded me of Jong-un a little bit. Maybe they can golf in a little bit too much or something.
Tell everybody about the parade that's going to be happening, will you? Because it's not common knowledge.
On Trump's birthday, the military is going to hold a big parade with all the military hardware, I guess.
You mean like they do in places like Russia,
Korea, yeah,
and China?
Yeah, I feel like I'm living in an Austin Powers movie at this point in time.
I knew your fascia. Oh,
it does, or a fucking cartoon. It's ridiculous. It's some of the stuff that's happening. And
well, we're over in the UK. What the hell has happened? I've frozen like that. We're over in the UK, and Wayne will tell you, we've seen this shit coming up where he fucking put a poster of himself up as the Pope. And hey, well, he put himself up as picture of the Pope, and then he's done Trump's Middle East or whatever the fuck it is, and we were like, what? And then he's done all these massive tariffs everywhere across the world, and people are forgetting that he's the head of America, not any other country. He's just the head of America, not the fucking world. And of course, the rest of the world's gone, well, shove your fucking taxes up your ass, mate. You're not our bloody head. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
It's a double-edged sword, because if he puts tariffs on us, we can put tariffs on in return, because it's all about import and export. So we import goods from America, we have to pay the tariffs when it goes into America. So we just put tariffs on that. So it just cancels itself out. So technically, there's no point in having tariffs, because every country will just do the same to each other.
What's
to
like
make
China?
up for the shortfall.
It's mainly about us and China, to tell you the truth.
Because didn't he raise
And,
it?
I keep hearing that China's not doing well themselves right now, that they're like in a huge economic crisis right now, as well as us. So I don't know. But I guess America went from not having any money to nobody having any money.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like I say, and that thing about the Pope, with him, the Trump as the Pope, and it's like
He must have heard about the Vatican records, and he must think there's oil down there or something. I don't know.
Or maybe there's a new form of orange to be found underneath the Vatican that would do for his. Fuck. Have you noticed he wears the orange makeup and he says it's not as a tan, but when he talks and makes the noise, you see a white ring around his mouth where he's got no fucking makeup. you look like a Cheeto, mate. What the fuck?
That's just where he didn't put the fake tan on.
That's where his ass was kissing some other's butt. That's what it was.
This guy's gonna get put in a detention center.
I don't know. So
the only things that going here, I don't know. A lot of people are actually freaking out that we're gonna start like the Handmaid's Tale. It's kind of terrifying.
Can you imagine if that actually fucking started happening? Then,
I'm gonna send my family to you guys.
He sat there like Jabba the Hutt, Boshuda, bringing a new one. Ooh, I pity those. Anyway, what has been happening in the world of the weird and wonderful across the pond or down in Colchester?
I honestly feel like it's gotten a lot more quiet since everything's been going on.
I've noticed that. The only thing that have come out is the 1,000-foot UFO that's been photographed, which I'm very skeptical about, and the other, the egg was found with the in the stasis pod.
I don't think I believe any of that.
As well, allegedly, another ambassador now is in cahoots with the nations and is working with the US and the UK governments, apparently. And there's the little gem that we work with 4 different types of alien at the moment, don't we?
That's been going around for a while, though. I said the past decade.
We know about the Greys. We know about the Nordics, who look just like us, but their DNA is slightly different. We knew about the reptilians, but they were supposed to hate us. So what the fuck we're doing working with them, I don't know. And the one that got me was the insectoids, because they were supposed to have been like a way off branch. Do you think the insectoids possibly come from under the crust?
No, I think there is an insect group that comes from under the crust, but I don't think it's an insectoids and the mantis people.
The funny thing is, if you look at the different species that we supposedly know of, the 4 most common ones are those. And all they've done is just put a different spin on it by saying we're working with them.
Well, there's all different types of greys, isn't there? There's different sizes, and you got like overlords and minions and clones and.
Yeah, but that's no different. That's no different to us, though, is there? Really, to be honest.
These are the same 5 groups that everybody's been talking about through history as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've only just put a different. They've only just gone and put a different spin on it. So rather than just saying, "Well, these were this particular species were responsible for abducting Bernie Hill or Travis Walton, you know, and now they've just gone, well, these are the four, and we're working with them. So they've just added the we're working with them just to sort of ramp things up a little bit. It just seems a little bit too much that, you know, they've gone from just being, they've been abducting us, and now they're working with us.
If I remember rightly, and I'm sure Josh you'll know about this one, wasn't it Edgar J. Hoover who made an agreement with the tall greys that they could abduct X amount of people a year in return for them working with us? It was him that agreed that and made that agreement, and that's why it got.
Yeah, it was Eisenhower.
Oh, Eisenhower, that's it. Was it Dwight D. Eisenhower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I remember the whole thing.
Hence, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Remember his granddaughter.
Do you reckon? And what was I going to say? Everything has. You're right. It's gone really, really quiet, and you've got to look bloody carefully to find stuff now. It all went, and then it went stop.
I think there's something coming though, because I've noticed a lot of videos coming up that are so bloody obvious and far-fetched, and the social media is being flooded with them.
Yeah,
I mean, just this afternoon, since yesterday morning, I have noticed there's been an increase of these ball lightning videos, which are AI.
Yeah.
You know, like one in a supermarket, one in a car park. There was one going through a restaurant. There was one going through a school. And this was since yesterday that I'd seen all of these.
Blowing his water, following your
then this afternoon, I saw one where this lady goes, look up at the clouds. The footage is of a tornado, but look in the clouds to the right. And as you look to the right, you see what appears to be a long object appears up in the sky. And I'm like, right, okay, let's have a look at the entire video that she shows. Went through the whole thing, and straight away I knew exactly what it was, because it was still raining. And this camera was outside. It wasn't inside, it was outside.
Right.
And what had happened was a drop of water had got on the lens, and using my screen, it had gone like that across the screen.
Yeah.
And so it was just in the right place that what it did was echoed the image of the surface of the storm in the water droplet. So, of course, he was going, oh, look, it's a UFO, it's a UFO. I'm like, no, it's not, it's not. And that literally, as I scrolled down, there was another one of a different sort, another one. And you're like, every single one of these had an explanation to them, whether it was AI or a natural occurrence that involved water or moisture in some way, shape, or form. But it seems to be flooding.
Yeah, there is so much bullshit coming out now, and always before something real happens, you get, and everybody who does this does ufology and cryptozoology. Before there's a real thing event or a real event happens, it's flooded with bollocks. The latest one I saw was a picture from. It was taken from a German Luftwaffe reconnaissance plane that was on maneuvers with the Luftwaffe, and I think it was 1940, and they'd done a smoke bank in the air to practice bombing runs and this, that, and the other. I'm coming out of it.
Bye.
The fuck? Well, anyway. Oh, hang on. Is he back on again? There he is.
Sorry, I just noticed I was using my mobile data and I got a warning up saying I'd used so much.
Well, yeah. This photo was there was a Stuka in the back. There was a Stuka in the background. There was a cloud that they'd laid for them to have cover to practice their bomb runs, and there was this long cigar-shaped, what they said, UFO coming out. But the thing was, you could see straight away, and there was a string of photos taken. Straight away, you could see that was the front of a Zeppelin. You could see it was a Zeppelin. And these ones, and it was on TikTok and Facebook, and I think it was on Instagram as well. And they were saying it was this bloody UFO. And I looked it up, and you could find the original pictures online, and it was a Zeppelin. It was a fucking Zeppelin. And after, when the string of photos had finished, the last one is the back end of the Zeppelin coming out with its tail fin and everything. And it's like, well, yeah, it's a fucking Zeppelin. But all these places are trying to pass it off as UFOs, you know. And as you say yourself, there's so much bullshit that's being flooded of UFOs. It's ridiculous. And at the moment, we've got Trump turning into a megalomaniac. You've got or Emperor Nero. He's probably going to be wandering around naked saying, "Gotta touch pussy." You've got gotta grab him by the pussy, isn't it? While smearing Wotsits and Cheetos all over his body. And now, and you've got all this stuff going on with the UFOs. And it's just so quiet. So quiet. So what the fuck? There is something coming. I said to Rachel today, there's something coming. Yes.
I was waving at.
So Lynn's just joined. Says hi, everyone.
Hi, Lynn. That banging is the cat.
There it is.
Leon!
That's what you call it, huh?
Okay.
Leon! Shit. I can't show you, but
I'm not going to ask what he's doing.
No, we don't want to see that. I think we can click off the A.
There's an enclosed litter tray, and this idiot, when she goes in it, she bangs at the fucking door, and all you can see is her face smushed up against the door, and she's going ding, 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 ding. I can't turn the whole thing round because it's on the computer, but yeah, that's what that banging is.
I will say one thing. I was right. I said last year the Pope wouldn't make the summer.
Oh, yeah. Let's hope that... Oh, you smelly bitch.
I knew it was coming.
Well, let's hope that the new one is as savvy with the UFOs and open to technology and aliens as the old.
I doubt it, because I think he's a puppet as well.
They all are. The Pope that rules it all is the Black Pope. We all know this. And for those of you who don't know what the Black Pope is, governments have shadow governments and they have black ops and black governments and this, that, and the other. In the papacy, you have the Black Pope, and the Black Pope does not mean he comes from Africa. Non-racist meant. It doesn't mean he dresses all in black and has black skin and speaks African or whatever, or
Evil.
Whatever. No. The Black Pope is not a very nice person. Not a very nice person at all. And it is basically like, how can I put it? It's, right. Everybody knows presidents and governments are mere puppets to what's really going on. And there's only a couple of families, Rothschilds, amongst some of them, that run everything. Well, the Black Pope is, again, that version. And he's the shadow version of all that is the papacy. But he's not holy. He's not holy in the slightest. And he or they will do various dark deeds to get things done, just like the black governments do. So be wary. If the Black Pope gets involved and elects somebody, and you'll see that there's no such thing as aliens. No, we haven't got to respect their gods because they're not real. That'll start to happen. And then it'll go back. And I've noticed another thing that's happening in videos is they're going on about the fucking firmament again. And it's like, stop your shit. Stop it with the firmament.
Yeah.
You've seen it, the video. A rocket ship goes.
No, I've also been seeing the flat earthers coming back too in full force.
Oh, and the wall that's at the Antarctic. That's another thing that's been coming back.
Oh, now I heard something about this the other day, which I was in hysterics. Okay, now scientists have discovered that the oceans are not rising. They are actually falling. They're dropping. And the Antarctic shelf and the Arctic shelves are getting bigger. So all this, the ice shelves were breaking up. They were only breaking up because they were getting bigger. Because they were refreezing again. And as a result of this, the oceans are dropping, not going up.
There's an 18-mile glacier broken off, and there's another one that's nearly, is it like 26 miles or something ridiculous that snapped off and is...
Yeah, but they've found that they're refreezing again to go with the increase of the size. It's like a snake when it sheds its skin, because the snake's getting bigger. It sheds the old skin to make way for its increase in size. And apparently, according to scientists, this is what is happening with all these Arctic and Antarctic shelves.
The thing that gets me about the scientists is because they do papers and the government veto it first, it gets turned into complete and utter fucking hogwash. Something that like the Grimm family should be talking about. because we had the ozone layer, and the ozone layer came out when I was a fucking teenager, because I remember learning about it at school. And then they said the ozone layer didn't come about until the 90s. Bollocks, mate. I was at school. I was 14 years old when they started talking about it. But apparently it never happened until the 90s. Bullshit. You know, and then they started saying that everything was everything was melting, getting smaller, because the permafrost was revealing this, that, and the other. And it has revealed hidden mega cities and advanced tech. We don't know if it's alien or if it's precursors, but it's something to do with Atlantis, isn't it? Because those megacities are all linked. It's something to do with that. But they have found skeletons or remains of 8-foot tall people and ridiculous shit like that. And now all that's dropped off and gone quiet. And I'm telling you, I am a believer in the Mandela effect, because so many things have happened that contradict everybody our age or older. It contradicts what we fucking know. You know, like
I think Mandela effects is something else. I think it's something with the government's trying to figure out if they can mess with our consciousness, to tell you the truth. Because there's a lot of things that are like, oh, there's evidence of it was like this, but they're like, no, it's a Mandela effect, and they're like, no, like the Fruit of the Looms. There's so many damn people that became a corporate.
Like I say, the ozone layer started being noticed in the 80s, because I was at school. I was 14 years old in 1986. I was 14, and I remember being at school learning about the hole in the ozone layer. And then they started saying the end of the noughties, the end of the 90s leading into the noughties. Oh, the hole in the ozone layer. Bullshit. It was in the 80s. We knew about it. You know, and now they're saying...
I mean, what's made me laugh about all that ozone layer, the hole in the ozone layer, very conveniently was over Antarctica.
And it was the cause of it melting.
Yeah. But the ozone layer has been fixed. It's fixed itself over a number of years, courtesy of us cutting out CFCs and various chemicals into the atmosphere. So we've done our bit, and it's healed, and it's fixed itself. So if it's fixed itself, and it fixed itself a number of years ago, that would have stopped the Antarctic shelves melting.
Yeah.
So, you know, why was it still melting?
Yeah.
Because these agencies turned into a business that feel like they shouldn't be dismantled. You know how much money they make off of us as Americans, and you guys as well, like the EPA.
And it's like all the recycling that goes on in the freaking world. We get stuff that's shipped from our countries, goes to another country, then goes to another country, gets taken across to the other side of that country, put on another ship, and this, that, and the other, and everything ends up in China. And they reuse it, or India, and then they reuse it. So why the hell can't we do stuff like that?
Well, it's like Singapore, isn't it? If you look at some areas of Singapore, Singapore is actually built on recyclable waste.
That's right. That's right. Parts of Hong Kong used to be a no-go area, and that's all got knocked down, and people rebuilt on what was left.
There's a guy in America now, isn't he? He's recycling plastic into fuel for cars.
I heard about that. He disappears.
He will disappear. He's still quite vocal on TikTok, I've seen, but he is going to vanish at some point, because it's near enough free energy, isn't it?
I think that's what prohibition was really about.
Yeah. Because it was the alcohol, and people used to run their cars on it when fuel was too expensive.
Well, then they were heating their houses too, as well.
Well, look at 0 Point. We know they've got 0 Point energy. We know they've already got it. We know it's there. We've seen the papers that have been out. We know they have found how to tap the 0 Point energy and make batteries, modules, and everything to store it and use it. We know it's out there. We know it's there. Tesla had it as well. 0 Point energy is like the world. How do you call it? What do you call it? The energy, the electricity, this ambient energy that's in the world and in the sky, and that's what Tesla was doing. But 0 Point energy is everywhere in the cosmos, and they figured out how to use it. That's how ships have not our ships, but that's how ships have hyperdrives and this, that, and the other, and FTL drives and stuff. Yes, we are getting an FTL drive. We already had an impulse drive, and we're getting an FTL drive by 2027, isn't it? And that's strange, because that coincides with when we're supposed to finally have UFOs revealed to us. Why would we need the FTL drive to be revealed the same time that alien intelligence is revealed.
So we can go back with them.
Oh, I saw a very interesting thing today saying that we are originally from Mars. We're not from here.
Yeah.
And that Earth was a moon. That Earth was a moon of Mars.
I mean, that has actually been a theory for quite a long time.
Yeah, because our DNA is not for this gravity. We're slightly out on the gravity here.
It was due to a chemical. It was due to a chemical that is being discovered on Mars that only happens here on Earth after nuclear fusion.
Yeah.
There's an element that after nuclear fusion, there's a certain type of element that is a result of that. And there is an abundance of it on Mars.
Yeah, there was nuclear
Not
strike.
here.
I don't know.
I think Atlantis and the Martians nuked each other and were like they're started off.
Well, I've got a paper, and it was a redacted, released CIA file. Was it CIA or FBI? One of them. I'll send it to you both. I'll send it on Messenger when I find it. And it's the cold reading that was done of Mars a million years ago, and it says about then they knew they fucked their atmosphere up. There'd been a massive war, and the people that were left on there were the remnants waiting for their people to come back and get them because they were looking for somewhere to sustain them. And they think they came to Earth, and they were the original people that took the hominid DNA and mixed it with theirs and made us. They were in fact the Anunnaki. So
yeah, I heard a theory like that.
When you look at all those theories,
the Martians met and did not get along, and they ended up nuking each other back into the Stone Age, and we're like the mixed breed of the two that are kind of like, oh, what happened? We're human.
Yeah.
But if you look at that theory, and you look at the Sumerian text regards to the Anunnaki, and then the Nephilim, and then where we are now, all of those theories are all linked together.
Yeah. And, I said about my theory about all the holy books, it's got the same events that happen at the same timeline throughout every single one of them. And it's got knowledge and this, that, and the other. But all the papacy said, no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I was reading the thing the other day. I was exactly fucking right about that. Every single event happens in every single holy book. And in every single holy book, you have all these gods there, but you have one god out of the Parthenon that rises again, gets killed and rises again. And when that conclave was taken, when they said we need one god to make these people step in line, when the conclave was done, they took that god. And in every single Parthenon of gods, if you keep looking, you will find that one god that died and was resurrected. And that's our main chap comes from. It was taken from lots of other holy books. The Bible and the Christianity religion, I am so sorry, guys, for those of you who are Christian, it's been proved all bits of that were taken from other religions. And I read it about 3 or 4 days ago, this big paper that came out about it. So if I can find it again, I'll put it on our wall. But it said that all the bits in our Bible have come from all the other holy books.
Well, of course. I mean, if you even just go into history of the Crusades, the Christians didn't win Jerusalem by themselves.
Yeah.
They had a lot of pagans help them, and it's kind of funny that all these stuff just kind of from the pagan traditions is kind of turned into Christianity when all these people moved to England. Help them win Jerusalem.
I mean, it is obvious as well. I mean, it's like Christmas. Over here, Christmas wasn't a Christian holiday.
Halloween.
Christmas.
I mean, even the whole mistletoe thing, and it's
Druid.
You think of mistletoe, and like if you know paganism, it's like the story of Balder. That's why it's in the halls every year. That's the halls too.
Yeah.
The
halls of the dead. Yeah.
But Christmas wasn't a Christian holiday.
That wasn't.
But it was then brought forward to meet with the pagan festival of Yule.
Because it was January, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that it would coincide. And then Easter has done the same thing. Halloween's done the same thing. The Christians, Christianity itself, or that faith has come in and taken over the natural festivities of the land.
Romans that did it.
And moved it.
So
So
the Mario brothers founded Christianity. You know, and we're it's me, Mario. Huh? Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Ah, yeah. So, and the thing is I do believe in God's. I do believe the word God's, but I don't. And we've discussed this on this show many times, haven't we? We don't think, and again, anybody who's religious, this is only our point of view. It's we're not trying to force any point of view on anybody. Right? If you're religious, good on you. You know, if that's your faith, I'm not gonna knock it. However, too much evidence for me points to it was never a singular God. It's always been a Parthenon of gods. They were the same gods. Each one had the same jobs, and one of them died and was resurrected. But these gods, again, if you read back and back and back and back and read all the ancient scrolls and go back to the Emerald Scrolls and everything like that, the gods came from a different planet. They came here. They landed here. They built planets. They built cities out of the mud. You know, they had technology far beyond what we could understand. They used their own people to build the cities. The people got fed up with it and said, we haven't got women. So they said, all right, we'll sort something out. They got the native hominid species, which was what we were, took our DNA, put it into theirs, and then they made Adamu. I can't remember the name of the goddess that did it. She went full term, gave birth to Adamu. Adamu. It means man, the first man. That's all it means. The Garden of Eden was actually a lab. It was a massive lab where they could keep an eye on everything that they created and built. So Adam was the first man. He was created in a lab. So, you know, we're not alone. We've never been alone. No one in this universe is alone. It's not one singular God. We are not the only planet with intelligent life on it. And if people still to this day think we are the only blob of green and blue in the whole of the cosmos that's got intelligent life. Well, I say intelligent life, then I look at Keir Starmer and Donald Trump and go, you know.
You said that, and it reminded me of TikTok I saw this morning of this guy turning around and saying he saw Michelangelo's depiction of the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve, and there's just one thing that's confusing him. Why have they got navels? I'm like, seriously? You know, yes, they've got navels, but we're talking about Michelangelo, who was around a little bit after the Bible and God's creation and all of this. So he would have automatically put in a navel.
Well, Adamu, the first man, would have had a navel because he went full term in the goddess who gave birth to him. She was a lot bigger. She was 8 to 12 foot tall, but she gave birth to him and he came out and he had an umbilical cord. If you read all the ancient stuff, and I mean really go back, it tells you, you know, it had to have for it to get fed.
I would like to know, though, that in the Bible, it does state on there that God removed one of Adam's ribs and created Eve. Now, the argument I gave my headmaster, which got me a suspension from school for 3 days, is surely if he took one of Adam's ribs and made Eve, she'd be about 6 inches tall. You know, just saying.
Well, again, when you read back into it, they made Adamu and then they made Eve. But again, Eve was made the same way, but they altered the DNA slightly to make the female version because the male slaves were dying off and they weren't able to procreate or make their own clones. So they made Eve and then they made more women and then they could self-create and keep getting the slaves that they needed. And then eventually there was the war that broke out where the one half of the gods didn't agree with how we were being treated and the other half of the gods did agree with how we were being treated. So there was a big war. Hence the good side and the bad side, angels and demons. It was the same lot of aliens who were our gods because we didn't understand it. They made us, they created us of their own image because they tinkered with our DNA. And it's been proven in scientific papers. When you look at our DNA, it shows where our DNA was altered, genetically altered. They don't know who did it, but they know it was thousands of years ago. And on the markers, they can see where our DNA was altered. It's all there. The proof is there for everybody. You just got to look it up. I believe in life after death, 100%. But I also believe in aliens, and I believe that we know fuck all with what's actually happening, what's actually out there, and what does happen after you die. What about you? You've been very quiet there, Mr. Beard.
I think we don't fully understand consciousness. There's something with aliens with that we haven't figured out yet.
Well, our brain operates in, I think, is it 4? I can't remember if it's 4 or 8 different dimensions, but that's how come we can do quantum, because our brains link up with brains on the other side of the galaxy and shit like that. But it operates on 4, I think it's 4 dimensions, but we don't know which dimensions they operate in. But they think that when we dream, we're going to an alternate version of ourselves in the multiverse. And that when you dream, when you dream, but you it's like you're looking like we look now, where you can see your own hands and your own legs, but you can't see your own face. That's when you're linked with the other you. And when they're asleep as well, but they're dreaming of you. So we're both like learning from each other, doing shit that we wouldn't do. I've had weird and wonderful dreams where I've lived in a realm where there's wizards and fucking werewolves and shit like that. And it wasn't like because I'd watched a horror film. It was the one where you can see your own hands and feet and stuff. And I'm like, fuck yeah,
You've been watching Harry Potter before you went to bed.
I'd kill to be a wizard. I would so love to be a wizard. I'd go around helping everybody.
Or maybe you're just a wizard that's just dying to be normal.
I want to be a wizard. I want to be a wizard. The first thing I would do is point the wand at my knob and say, make it bigger, please. Thank you. And then I'd go and say, Rachel, hey, baby. And then I'd go off helping everybody. I really would. I really would. And I wouldn't give myself hair. I would not give myself hair because I like the slaphead look. So, I'd say, hey, Big Willie for me. And then I'd go over to Wayne and go, hey, let's make your bowls even bigger. And then I go travel over to Wisconsin and go, hey, let's make your beard look like ZZ Top. And Josh would go, stop, And then I'd make weird wands for both of you two and go, there you go, there's a wand each. And then you really would look like a wizard. Your big beard and your big balls. There you go. I've lost the plot. I'm not having medication today. That's fucking what it is, isn't it?
Something's not right there, man.
Something's never been fucking right. But I'd love to be a wizard, but I'd be a good one. Like hedge witches and white witches, like that. But I'd just love to be a good one that could help people. Really would. Because when you think about the old medicines and the druids and stuff, that was all natural and herbology. And druids were regarded as, they were venerated. And then it was because religion came along, Christianity came along and demonized them. They demonized hedge witches or cunning men, cunning women, good women, goody women, and they demonized them and said, no, because they know knowledge that we don't, you can't trust them. Bollocks, mate. It's just to control us. Yeah. Eggshell blonde Mark. Fuck. No! I used to have red hair. I'm descended from a Viking called Thorkel the Tall. We went to the Jorvik Viking Center today as well. I'm descended from a Viking, so that's why I had red hair. My daughters have got red hair. My grandchildren have got red hair. Can you imagine me as a blonde? I should pray his you gold. I'm really going. We are going to tariff weeds. I thought that said we're going to tariff weed. Then I was about to say, oh, is he going to bring weed out? Okay, that would explain so much. Can you imagine Trump back there? Go, yeah, you got to grab the pussy, man. And then he picks a cat up and goes, "This is what I meant, not that." But hey.
He might calm down a little bit.
Why did you sound like Al Pacino in The Godfather when you did that?
Come and make you an offer. Aliens are real. They've been amongst us for years, and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. They made us. They fucking made us. We all know this. The Vatican knows this. And the Vatican has the knowledge in the archives, and people who've been in there have said the knowledge is there. The governments know this. It's the color of my scalp. What, eggshell blue? That's because of the light reflected. It's because of my alien, my fluorescent alien. Is that what they call them? The tubes, fluorescent tubes. Oh fucking no! It's that thing glowing off my head. Let's slap it here. Oh, hang on.
She said eggshell blonde, not eggshell blue.
There you go. I've got to send remind me next Friday to send your hats off, because I've now got them and I keep forgetting to post them.
I was wondering about that. I was like, do Tuscans just take them, or
you have to pay for tariff?
But we're going to be doing baseball caps. if anybody wants one. So yeah, they're available in various different colors, and we do beanies as well with the Dark Mirror Radio Show on it. So if anybody wants one, message us and we'll let you know. So yeah, aliens are real. What do you reckon cryptids are? Here's one I want to throw at you, because in the legends, and if you read, especially the I think it's somewhere on the Emerald Scrolls, it says about the Garden of Eden was the first place they built the science lab to create us. But because it was such a vast expanse of flat land, and it had to be flat land so they could keep an eye on us, lycants or werebeasts, not just werewolves, but were tigers, were lions, all that kind of crap, were made alongside with vampires as apex predators, but not to be apex predators of us, but they were to guard us. And if we tried to basically wander off the reservation, they'd take us out, they'd kill us. And that's where allegedly the start of vampires and werebeasts came from. What do you reckon of that?
That sounds like White Wolf. That's honestly, you know what I'm referring to, that game.
Well, they reckon that the whole reason dinosaurs, vampires and stuff have died out over the centuries is because their vision, with their night vision and everything, was done for flat landscapes. And where we got buildings and stuff everywhere now, it fucks their vision up. And they can only do it,
Or they're the ones making the laws.
They could be the black popes and the black governments. Yes, Wayne? Edie, you're constipated, or you want to say something?
Yeah, my brain has just gone into overdrive. Right. Well, we were saying about cryptids and Adam and Eve, and my brain has all of a sudden just gone, right, okay, if the Garden of Eden is supposed to have been a lab, all of these mythical beings that we've written about in stories, so werewolves, vampires, Yeti, Abominable Snowman, Sasquatch, all these weird cryptids that we've written about and seen and witnessed and whatnot, could these be the failed experiments from Eden?
Oh dear, sweet. We've already established that space and time are both human constructs. Yes, they are. Space, zoom out enough, there is only a singularity. Time, the exact same moment is happening on the opposite side of the universe. Yeah, right now, and you don't need to travel trillions of light years to experience the same moment. No, you don't. That's why you got quantum. And the easiest way to explain quantum is the speed of thought. That's the easiest way to explain it. Don't get lost in there. Oh, there's an atom here and it's linked with that. No, it's the speed of thought. Quantum is the speed of thought. But yeah, we're all linked to everybody else. When this body, this vehicle, is what we use to interact in this dimension. When we die, we don't die. It's only the vehicle we use to interact on this dimension that dies. Like a car going up the creek and then you buy a new car. Like a hermit crab discarding its old shell and going to find a bigger one. That's what happens to us. The body goes, and then we come out of it and go, I want one with a bigger willy next time. So yeah. But I do believe that everybody you meet and everybody you become like good friends with, family and stuff, is meant to be because you knew each other in one of your past lives. But it could have been weird. I could have been Wayne's mum, or I could have been Josh's son, or some crap like that. I could have been Rachel's dog in a former life, But we all knew each other back along from former lives, and that's why we're drawn to each other. And I kind of believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soul is us. The soul is us. This body isn't. Us is the bit that thinks inside your head.
I mean, I explained it to someone the other day that every cell in the human body has a certain amount of energy in it.
That's right.
If every single cell was to give out that energy all at once, at the same time, there would be more energy than in a lightning bolt.
That's right, yeah.
So when the physical dies, what happens to that energy? And that's a lot of energy, bear in mind.
It's been measured. It's been measured, photographed, and everything. They know something leaves the body. And I don't mean farts or anything like that. It's been measured. When somebody dies, it's something like 0.00005 grams comes out of your body.
And there's that terrifying theory about the moon, too, with the soul catcher. If you believe any of that.
Oh, what that because they use our souls as energy.
No, basically you just get tricked into reincarnating over and over and over and over, and that's why we all keep coming back, and it's like why overpopulation is happening. Because you're like, die, you go up, and then you get sucked into the moon, and then they're like, oh, shoot you back down, and then you go into all their life again.
They go, sorry, we're not hungry. Back you go.
Well, no, he's right. I mean, there is a thing about you're caught in the perpetual recycling, but you can turn your back on the light and go, I want to go home. That's one of the things I've
and that's
read.
like what Buddhism is.
Yeah, you can turn your back on the light because that's them calling you back in to recycle. If you go, no, and you turn your back and go, I want to go home where I originally came from, it'll put you on whatever planet, wherever you come from. And again, to do with that, apparently different types of aliens that have got something to do with us, have all turned around and said the hardest reincarnation, it's all types of reincarnations are tests. And they do it on other planets and stuff, but apparently the Earth reincarnation as a human is the hardest test of all. And there's a lot of people, a lot of races out there that won't do it because it's the hardest test of all. So we've done this test. We can at last go, I want to go home. So I think I might do that. But again, all the people that you interact with, you knew in this life, your loves, everything, they're people from where you originally come from. So that would be nice to think that all your pets, your friends, your family, the love of your life and everything, when you go, no, I'm not going to light, I want to go home. If everybody else does that, you'll all be back. So why has Aiken Drum stayed in the moon? Because he's bloody daft. That's why. Have you guys heard about the messages on the other side of ceiling tiles and hospitals? Actually, there's been quite a few of those that have been seen, haven't there? Especially in South America, and people that have disappeared and been found up in the roofing tiles and stuff like that. Yeah.
What?
Look it up. Look it up. I'm sure when Wayne and I used to do our lists, we've read a few of these out as well.
Yeah.
Because back along, one of the formats we used to do is read like a top 10 of weird shit that had happened, but it wasn't the best format. The format that we do now, where we talk about fucking everything, is the best format because we have a laugh and everybody laughs, and you know, it's brilliant because we sit there and whenever I stare at the screen, I'm actually watching Josh's beard, because when Josh gets excited, his beard goes, eh! And then when he gets it goes, eh! It's like if you saw a camera pointing at Wayne's lap, you'd see Wayne rise a little bit because he sits on his own nads. And when he gets excited, they expand, and then they go, and he goes, whoop, rises up a bit. And when he gets sad, they go.
I've got a hole in the chair for that.
Have you seen that TikTok? That is an Indian fellow in a pair of shorts sitting on the chair that's like lettuce work. And he's got shorts, and his nad gets stuck in the hole, and he's going, oh! Piss myself, tell you. Oh dear. Do you believe we do not take energy with us when we die? No, I don't. We are energy. We're an energy being.
Yeah.
This is the vehicle. Like a lot of people forget that this is just a vehicle we use, because it's the only way on this plane, this dimension. It's the only way we can interact with other things. Is this? So we're actually energy beings. And if you read all the ancient scrolls, look at the Tibetan stuff, and again, look at some of the Dead Sea Scrolls, actually. The Mahabharata explains it as well, and also the Emerald Scrolls. If you look at it, it says we are energy beings. We are beings of light and energy. When we ascend, we go to a different plane on a different realm where we don't need this, where we can be us. So, yeah. I've had enough of reincarnating, because I've said a few times I always wanted to be...
No, Lynn.
See you later, Lynn. What is it when you get... like regressed? I wanted to be regressed because I've got so many things inside my head that I'm sure happened a long time ago, you know. But I'd like to be regressed.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I just.
You've got. I remember us having a conversation about it. You've got your own ideas, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah. A ton of weird stuff. Yeah.
You know, and then don't you find it weird that us three on others, like Wayne's down the bottom of the country, I'm at the top of the country, Josh is across the other side of the world. Do you not find it weird that of all the people we could have on it, eventually ended up us three? And we all get on, and we're all good friends, and we're all just as cracked in the head as each other, but we know our shit, you know, and we all specialize in different kinds of shit. Don't you think we were brought together for a reason? Apart
It
from
was
the meat
meant-
bits out of you
It
not
was
having
meant
hair.
to be.
There you
The
go.
Bobberman can take us all out at once.
Can you say that again? Because it went really, really
What? I said, so
Say-
the Bobberman can take us all out at once.
Can you imagine that if the Bobberman went right? Vote Dark Mirror. Yes, we'll bring power to the people. Mm. Can you imagine if we actually ran for that sort of thing one day? Vote Dark Mirror. That'd be awesome. Can you imagine that? Right. I want the truth about UFOs on my desk now. Oh, but no. Buts. No, we don't have any more black presidents, as in the dark Oh, that sounded so racist. I didn't mean it like that. Like the black governments, the shadow ones. Them. No more shadow bullshit. No more missing funds. No more shadow popes. Nothing like that. No more corruption. But that'll never happen. Whilst you've got power, there's money, and whilst there's money, there's power, and it's a vicious circle.
Just like all that Doge money that we were supposed to get. No, that's nothing but crickets when you hear about that or ask about that.
Yeah, it's bollocks, isn't it? Same as over here. Over here, we had a thing where we've got the what's Nigel Farage's thing?
Reform.
Reform. And reform is basically they are slightly racist. They are. They say they're not. They are. They're a racist party, but their main thing is deal with your own people first before anybody else. Our own homeless, our own this, our own that. Yeah, I get that. And then you've got the knobhead that's in charge now, and he lost a load of places to them, and he's gone, oh, we better do something. And he stopped the payments that people on Universal Credit were getting for the cost of living payment. He stopped it and said nobody was getting it this year. He lost all those seats, and now the government's come out and said, yeah, we're going to do a cost of living payment now for everybody.
And to be honest, again, it's your opinion, but reform can't be racist because they've got a lot of Asian and black people in their party, and some of them are quite high up. But what made me laugh now is that because Labour have had their butts kicked in local elections, they have now started taking on some of Reform's policies and suggested policies to make Labour look better. Only Reform have been saying, well, we will be doing this, we'll be doing that. But what is the biggest bone of contention at the moment is a lot of people keep going down this road of the NHS is going to get privatised by Nigel Farage. And over the last 3 or 4 days, well, basically, since the local election, I've been turning around and saying, well, I'm sorry, but now parts of the NHS have already been privatised. The maternity units in a lot of hospitals have been taken over by Virgin Healthcare. The physiotherapy departments have been taken over by H3G Physiotherapy. And that's got nothing to do with the Reform Party. That's to do with Labour and Conservatives.
I know. What I was saying about the Reform Party, they originally did start out as a far-right party and they were racist. They
weren't. They were never a far right party.
I'm not booing them, but because I agree with a lot of their stuff now.
This is the thing. They were labelled far right because they saw that the majority of the taxpayers' money was going to help out illegal immigrants, which Keir Starmer took.
I mentioned they're both going to screw you.
Keir Starmer at the time took the government to the court.
Okay.
Allow illegal immigrants to claim benefits, housing, and everything else. And now there's so many came over illegally that they're being paid for. Now landlords of privately owned houses are being asked to sign a 5-year contract to house illegal immigrants. And landlords now are starting to kick their own tenants out in favour of this contract with the government.
You've got this. I'm sorry, but every government in the world, and it's not a racist thing, every government in the world, including the places where immigrants come from, every government in the world should start with their own people, not people from outside. Start with your own people first, then help the ones who've come in.
It's a lot a lot of it is about infrastructure. If the infrastructure of a country can only handle a certain amount of people, if the infrastructure doesn't change and upgrade, when you get a sudden influx of more people, then it becomes an issue. And you have to change the infrastructure to be able to suit that increase. And it's not doing it.
And in short, most Bobermans are all about slagging each other off and being corrupt as fuck and lining their own pocket. So that when they leave a load of shit for the next ones. And then the next ones come in and do even more corruption on top of that, and so on and so forth. And it happens in every fucking country in the world. Not one is a good one.
Yep. Exactly, Noreen. Noreen says, I went to a rheumatologist appointment years ago and it turned out to be Virgin-owned clinic. And that's going back to over 10 years. So it's been going on for a long time. So no one can point the finger at a new party because reform weren't around 10 years ago.
When you think about it, Robert, America and UK have been like that for decades. And ever since we've all been up each other's asses, it's just our own countries have just gone to shit. And yet the governments and the rich get richer and richer and richer, and the likes of us get poorer and poorer and poorer. But it's our taxes that pay their bloody wages.
And I think what doesn't help as well is because Nigel Farage is good friends with Donald Trump. That's where the finger pointing starts. Are we taking on Trump's ideas? He's going to turn into a Trump, or he's going to turn into a Putin, and he's listening to Vladimir Putin and all of this. And Nigel Farage at the moment is getting a bit of stick because he mentioned about the Ukraine and Russia war, and people are saying, oh, he's a puppet of Putin. And we're like, well, no, because actually Nigel Farage warned of the war in Ukraine back in the 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed. Was when he first
They've been fighting since the Viking Age. So, I mean, like, why is it any of our problem? They literally, they're the weren't they called the Ukes and the Ruks? That's literally, before they were fucking countries, they were fighting each other.
Yeah, but the point was that Nigel Farage was working within the EU at the time, and he warned back in 1991 that when the Soviet Union collapsed in December of that year, it would cause problems. And old Kennedy actually stated it as well, that there was an agreement made between NATO and Russia that they would not go next door to Russia's borders.
Yeah, and that's why
they've gone against that agreement. So since 1991, NATO has expanded further and further, closer to Russia, and it's caused all of these problems.
Right.
So all the finger pointing to Farage is false because it's been going on for the last 30 odd years.
Right. Let's stop this talk about politics, because this is the Dark Mirror radio show, not the Dark Mirror politics show.
Well, it's a conspiracy theory.
It's good. I mean, I will be voting reform myself, because I cannot stand Labour and I cannot stand Conservative, because they're all lies and bollocks. And the likes of in America, they've got the orange haired, the orange faced, orange fucking twat waffle. So
I couldn't do a local vote because conveniently enough, the Labour Party demanded that our council was reconstructed. So ours was postponed, and we're supposed to be going in leagues with Southend and Tilbury. So we couldn't vote Labour out. So we never got the chance.
Fuck them. Anyway, souls, we have them, and most governments sit on them. So on that note, especially the orange-haired one, who now thinks he's Caligula and the Pope and the Saviour of the world all rolled into one. I have no idea what's going on with him, but I hope he and Keir Starmer have babies. So on that note, we'll be back next Monday at 9:30 at night, where we talk about the weird and wonderful and politics and what pisses people off in the world. Hopefully Josh will cheer up a bit and he'll be in a much better mood, and his beard will be luxuriant and glossy and let's just hope that the Wayne doesn't get so happy that his balls increase the sizes and all you can see is like from here down. So yeah, we'll be back next week 9:30. Thank you very, very much for joining us, all of you. Have you got anything you want to say, you two? Josh?
Keep your eyes out on TikTok. New content is coming.
Okay, good. Wayne?
I wouldn't say keep your eyes out on TikTok because content's coming, because my content's boring as shit. So You know, it's.
Hey, that's what we had fun with the bear the other night. I learned
had to
about tasty music.
I've had to take a night off because my thumbs are sore as hell.
Yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't look fun. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I'd rather be one of them painters.
have a look on TikTok when I do my lives. I'm building one of those mini Lego bears, and I play some strange, bizarre music and just general chat. So, yeah.
My friends are weird. Anyway, I'm fucking weird. I can't talk, mate. I'm the weird. I'm
No,
weird.
you see, if you were to go on TikTok and have a look, you'd see exactly what my content's like.
I work late. I work 4:30 to 12:30 in security, so I need to start doing more TikTok stuff. But
Except for the last 2 days.
Catherine, would you like an aliens? Would you like your own personal aliens?
Another one.
Before we go, would you? Josh, you do one.
Aliens.
No, young man.
That's how
No,
you're getting.
put more effort in that.
Why am I saying your catchphrase?
What is that man's catchphrase, Wayne?
Aliens!
Okay, all right, I'll do it for you. Aliens! There you go. Your own personal one. Do it! Right, we'll see you next Monday, 9:30 to 10:30.
Later,
Take it
everyone.
easy, guys. Keep your eyes to the skies. And remember, the Dark Mirror Radio Show at yahoo.co.uk is our email. If you see anything, drop it to us. Take a photo, take a film of anything paranormal or UFO-y or cryptid. We don't want anything else sent to us. So on that note, it's goodbye from me, goodbye from Josh, goodbye from Wayne. Both of you say goodbye.
Later.
Toodles!
And remember, check out their channels too. We'll see you next week. And thank you very much, guys. See you all later. Isn't that what she stuck up her? It was. Oh my God, that's what you stuck up. Yeah, there you go. Look, he stuck it up.